Good morning, guys. This is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Welcome back to our channel, our community, the place where we come drink coffee, tea, matcha. What do you got? What are you drinking this time of the day? Again, guys, there's a hurricane coming, and it's not a good-looking one. It is Category 5. Guys, please pay attention to this. Please pay attention to this. Heed the warnings. You guys should have gotten out of the area that needed evacuations. Those that are stuck in a bad situation, hang on, man. Hang on. Take care of your pets, your loved ones. Please do not treat this as something nonchalant. It is not nonchalant. There's over 230 people already gone from Hurricane Helene and 170 still missing, guys. This is serious. This hurricane's coming in basically the same path. It's not good. So the ground's not even dry. So let's give this storm the respect it deserves by just paying attention to what we're doing, guys, and prepare. Please prepare, guys. I wanted to talk to you about children. Now, anybody that's been following this channel for any amount of time knows that that's something I'm not going to joke about. I don't joke about it. Guys, as many of you know, I come from Hollywood, Florida, same exact place that Adam Walsh was taken from and later found decapitated about 120 miles north of Hollywood. So I knew the Walsh family, and I knew them because I worked with Jean Walsh, Adam's grandma, just a couple years after Adam had passed. I shouldn't say Adam had passed. Adam was murdered. That's what he was. He was taken and he was murdered. Guys, so that case has always stuck with me. And I remember being afraid. I remember when they found Adam, and it just stuck with me. So I don't joke about children. I don't joke about children. And when I could cover something about children, I do, because their voice is so silent. So this channel is about a year old now, as far as actually putting stuff out there and continuing to put stuff out there. I think in November, or maybe it is exactly a year old. Anyway, we've covered a few children. We covered Timothy Ferguson. We covered Corey Micciolo. Now there's another little girl named Naziah who was let down by the system and by her aunt's boyfriend. I'm going to let the video tell you about that one. The thing that we have in common, these children were all let down by the system. All let down by the system. And yet there are people out there that don't want to believe that the system is broken because they want to feel safe inside that system. The system's broken. You can't blame parents for following the law in trying to keep their kids safe by asking for child protective services to protect the child, and it fails them. You can't expect a parent to take their child against the law. Because one, how did they ever live after that? They're always on the run. What kind of normalcy is that? Number two, it's totally illegal. They will be found. And then the child's going to go back to the other parent anyway. And on your mind, in your conscience, you're going to have, is this why this happened? Because I did this. No. There's no winning. There's no winning when children are no longer with us. And we could have done something about it. All we had to do was pay attention. All we had to do was yell louder. But you yell as loud as you can, and still nothing happens. Let me read you in case you forget. And I'm going to put up pictures so that we always remember the face. Corey Micciolo, 6 years old. He was 6 years old. April 2nd, 2021. He passed away alone in a hospital at 6 years old because his dad, who was abusing him. You remember this video? Treadmill video, right? His dad was ABUSING him. And his mom kept telling New Jersey Child Protective Services over 100 times, with videos, with pictures. 24 hours after her last bid for trying to protect her son, and they rejected it. And 24 hours later, her son was no longer of this earth. This is not the parents' fault. This is not her fault. This is the dad's fault. But Child Protective Services, we expected more from you because it's in your title. Not every dad is going to be good. That's why you're in business. Not every mom is going to be good. But when they fail, when a parent fails, that's when you step up. And you failed. You didn't step up. Chris Cuomo, you promised that you would stay on this case, but you didn't stay on this case. You lied. You're shit. News Nation, you're shit. You couldn't keep your promise, stay on this case. Christopher Greger, who was Corey's dad, was sentenced to 25 years for the death of his son, Corey Micciolo. It was aggravated manslaughter he got 20 years for, and 5 years for endangering the welfare of a child. The sentences run consecutively, so it's 25 years. He'll probably get out in 17, 18 years, and he's a young enough guy. The dad, Christopher Greger, this dickhead, yeah, he's young enough that he can go ahead and have more kids when he gets out. That's a good system too, isn't it? We have proof of this. We see this, right? There's pictures, I don't want to put them up, of bruises to Corey. There's proof 100 phone calls were made by his mom, Brianna. But New Jersey Child Protective Services, Department of Child Protective Services, DCPMP, they failed them. They failed them. They failed them. The system failed them. In order for the system not to fail people, we have to step up to the plate. Guys, I'm going to put in the description this. This is something that I want you guys to look at. Please look at this and please sign this. It will make a difference. Please, please, guys. Guys, do you remember this face? Remember this guy? You probably remember this person and this person more, right? Because they're the perpetrators that systematically TORTURED'd this guy, 15-year-old Timothy Ferguson, his mom, his brother. Yeah, Timothy had autism. He was 15 years old. He was starved. The only thing he was given was hot sauce soaked in bread. He was given ice baths. In 2022, after Shonda, his mom, should not have had Timothy at all. She was deemed dangerous for him. Shouldn't have had him at all. But the stepmom and the real dad couldn't deal with him anymore. He was getting difficult. Again, autistic. Wasn't on the medication he should have been on, because on the medication apparently he was good. Nobody wanted to be bothered by him. Child Protective Services were called several times. Several times. And again, Shonda, his mom, should not have had custody of him. He left the state. Nobody kept tabs of this kid. Child Protective Services, again, failed. Over and over again, as this kid laid on a tarp that was... He lived in a closet. He slept on a tarp. He was dehumanized. He was TORTURED'd. As bad as people that are put in political prisons, people that are trying to get information. And again, Child Protective Services knew. They failed. They failed. They failed. They failed. We have to do something about Child Protective Services. They need to protect the child. They need to protect the child, especially when they're in the system, when parents are screaming for help. Not in the poor case of Timothy Ferguson, but he was already in the system. He should have been checked up on. Wait till you hear the last one here. The last one here, again, I'm going to let Vinnie Politan tell you about that. Because, like, not only did the system fail this little girl, but the person that abused her, he was let out of jail after abusing others. So, why does that work? How is that safe? How does the system keep failing? What do we have to do to make the system not fail? What can we do? Because it's heartbreaking to see these children. When you see something, you have to say something. Maddie Soto, too. Somebody should have been looking out for Maddie. People saw shit. You can't tell me people didn't see shit. People didn't care enough to say anything. Let's be real. Because those roommates, they saw things. They saw things. The parents saw things. The parents of Stefan Stearns and the parents of Jen Soto. And I'm sorry, but the dad, he didn't really make an effort, the bio dad. You don't call your kid every once in a while and call that an effort. You just don't. The people paying the price are the children here. The children. In the case of Corey Micciolo, the only thing Brianna Micciolo did was follow the rules. She followed the rules. She had a drug problem in the past that she had control over. She never abused her child. Never abused her child. Christopher Gregor did that. Guys, again, I'm going to put something in the description. It's going to be a link to sign, talk about, and help with these child protective services and the laws to make them held accountable. This is a start, guys. All right?
Someone has to step in and help the child.
Vinny, you're absolutely right. The system is broken, and they absolutely let down Isaiah. First prosecutors and the courts for giving him a second and third chance when he's molested others under the age of 13. You have family members. Obviously, Butts has a apparently sexual relationship with Isaiah's aunt, and that gives him access where the family members doing. Apparently, some of them called CPS, but they didn't step in. And even with respect to Isaiah herself, there's a coworker that sees what's going on. There's Butts, and these are all allegations of what's Butts' own sister. They check into a motel together. She hasn't had her menstrual cycle. She's pregnant at the age of 13. I mean, there's so many warning signs, Vinny. And if anyone had stepped in and done their job and done the right thing to protect this young girl, should probably still be alive today.
Eklund, people who work for CPS don't get paid a lot. They've got tons of cases. They got tons of files. But I'm looking at this from that perspective and all the adults in her life. And no one took the action necessary to save her. No one.
I actually have a problem with it. It starts with, since 2005, Mr. Butts was on the sex offender registry. He currently is on the sex offender registry and is showing as compliant. When you are on the sex offender registry, you can't even be around a child, look at a child, be on social media or anything like that. He wasn't even supposed to be in the same vicinity of this child, let alone be able to do anything. The moment anybody called anybody with regards to him being in the vicinity of a child, he should have been arrested because he's on the sex offender registry. So it's not CPS and the caseworker's issue. It's a criminal issue because he is a criminal and he was on the sex offender registry. But currently, those that are in charge of it have him currently as compliant. So the system, it broke in 2005, not in 2024. So this man has been able, he did what he was supposed to do. The people who put him on the list didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. I pray for our children. I pray for them. All right, guys, be better today than you were yesterday, not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Always, always, always be kind. Again, take care of yourself with the storm.